What is up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. If you are new here, I'm Zombie Chris. On this channel we cover horror, we cover short films, we cover vlogs, at least around the Florida area. We cover Halloween events once that kicks off. So if any of that sounds like something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button, check out some more videos. If you like what you see, stay around. On today's video, we're going to go with my best of horror of 2018. Now, I'm not going to typically do this list like everyone else has done, where they've ranked the movies or put,
this is number 5, this is number 4.
I don't really like the method of giving things a final score or final ranking. Most of the reviews going forward are all going to be kind of how the past, I think, 2 or 3 reviews have gone on this channel. So without further ado, let's get to my list. I'm gonna have to give a best of award to Slice. Now, it's not gonna be because this movie was funny. To me, I didn't really find it that funny, but I have to give it to them on the direction, on the art, on the characters, on the idea of having this kind of town with all of these mythical creatures and ghosts and werewolves. I think they nailed it in that department. Now, it's not really that funny. At least I didn't find myself laughing most of this movie. But I have to say, overall, I kind of enjoyed the ride of this movie. And that speaks volumes for a comedy movie, which wasn't funny, but it was entertaining all the way through. Another one I have to give a nod to is Mandy. I am really shocked about most people not enjoying this movie. I can understand, at least the first half of this movie, it's very dreadful. The last hour of this movie is really, really solid in my opinion. Nicolas Cage nails the performance. And I would love to see like a Mandy 2, or at least some more from this world that they've driven us into. The colors in this movie, the violence, it's all pretty good. I mean, I would highly recommend anyone watch Mandy. At least the second half. You can, kind of goof off the first half, but that second half is... And I do have some honorable mentions to throw in here every so often. So honorable mention, I'm gonna have to give it to The Domestics. This movie kind of went under the radar for a lot of people. It's sort of like a Purge movie. If you really enjoy the Purge series, I would highly recommend you check this one out. It has some really good crazy stuff, especially like the last, I think, 30 minutes of this movie. It builds into a big showdown, and it's really awesome to see. And I would have loved this movie to be a bit more, like, just a tiny bit more better. If you like The Purge, check out The Domestics. I'm gonna also give another honorable mention to Primal Rage. Now, this movie kind of, I guess, also like The Domestics, snuck under the radar for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't even know this came out. Primal Rage is about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, but it does it almost like the Predator movie. So imagine the Predator, but swap it out for a Bigfoot. And it's pretty entertaining. It's the Bigfoot creature is awesome to see on film. They did a fantastic job with that. And I would love a sequel. I can't ruin the ending of this movie, but it does leave you like, I want to see a sequel. Back on to my best of list, we have, I'm gonna go with Revenge, which is a movie. I think this is just a long stem of like movies that went under the radar for people. I didn't see a lot of people talk about Revenge, maybe because it was earlier in the year, but this takes the genre that it is in and flips it completely around. The vibe of this movie, the colors, the cinematography of where it's shot, that ending scene, which I'm not going to spoil anything on this list, but the third act in this movie is awesome to see, especially in a horror movie. It just leaves you on the edge of your seat. Really great movie, really great. I highly recommend it. Revenge. And moving right along, I have to give another nod to Cam, which was surprising. It came out towards the end of this year, I think like maybe a month, 2 months ago. If you like that sort of really dark humor, dark, twisted, kind of Twilight Zone-esque kind of type of horror. This speaks volumes, Cam. It's done really well. The idea of where it goes, it's pretty creepy about technology, and I highly recommend it. Really good job, great colors, great cinematography in this as well, and just great setup with the character. I would be wrong if I didn't give an honorable mention to Upgrade. Now, a lot of people really dug this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I like the idea, I like the setting, I like just everything about this movie. I think except the third act for me is where it kind of dropped the ball, and that's why it's not on the best of for me. Yeah, that third act was just kind of just like, that's kind of a shame. But everything else led up to it. It seems like an awesome, like almost 80s sci-fi vibe. You get that Total Recall-esque kind of like vibe to it. If he could just, you know, nail down the third act, Upgrade would have been phenomenal for me. And I'll throw up another honorable mention, Usain. I have to give them props, not only for the fact that they film a majority of this movie using an iPhone, but I think the lead up, the idea, the concept, it's very, very creepy to me for everyone around you to claim that you're crazy, but you know you're not crazy and you're stuck in this situation. I thought the movie was good for the most part. Now, it kind of failed, I think, once they reveal what, you know, what's happening. It was just kind of like, okay, let's wrap this up. But everything in that first and second act was really, really good, and props to the actor, I'm forgetting his name right now, the comedian guy who does all the impressions. Props to him. He did a fantastic job in his acting role. He nailed his performance, so props off to him. Back on to my best of list. We have to give it to Apostle. Yes, Apostle has made my best of list. I was saddened to see Spooky Astronauts really dislike this movie, but boy, Apostle was just a wild ride. It was breathtaking. The cinematography in this movie is just gorgeous. The action, the lead up, the tension, you don't know where it's gonna go. You're on for a wild ride. It's almost like Mandy, but minus all the vivid colors and just done better. Apostle streaming on Netflix if you want to check that out. So I highly recommend Apostle. Fantastic movie. As well as I'm gonna have to give a nod to these two movies, A Quiet Place and Bird Box. Although they are similar in certain ways, I thought both of them did a good enough job of being totally different across the board. Similar but different in ways, and they both did a fantastic job just in the terror and building the tension of sound, and one using the tension of sight. Fantastic job for both movies. Bird Box is streaming on Netflix if you want to catch that out right now. Its Quiet Place is out on Blu-ray, so check them both out. And if I didn't mention this movie, I pretty much think the horror community, they would probably kick me out, even though I'm not in. But Hereditary, it's an honorable mention for me. I dug the lead actress. I dug her performance in this. Some of the horror elements is really, really good in this movie. Third act for me was a misfire. It was a drop the ball. It just failed, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth as far as endings go for this movie, or at least for this year of horror. Don't watch the trailer. The trailer really kind of misconstrues this to be a very terrifying movie, and what you find is that it's like your basic run-of-the-mill family drama, as you know, supernatural things going on. It's more like that, and I'm not quite sure why everyone gave it such high praise. I enjoyed it. Would I go back to watch it again? No. And looking over the list, I think that's it for my best of 2018. I know a lot of movies, people are gonna be on me that's not on this list, like Terrifier. I think that's the name of it. Art the Clown. clown in the background, creepy clown. That movie for me, I never did a review for it. I do like Art the Clown. I like some of the violence in the movie. I like the first half of the movie, but once it kind of does, I'm not calling it a twist, but once it turns the story to something else in the, I think, midway act to the last act, and just overall where it ended up, I just didn't really like it or care for a lot of the things that happen in the third act of the movie. But Art the Clown is incredible. He's up there, I think, with horror legends once he gets going and maybe gets a few more movies behind him, maybe with a bigger budget and someone who can probably direct, I think, a better feature film for Art the Clown. Maybe Truth or Dare is an honorable mention just because I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed my time with it. I was laughing all the way through. I enjoyed it. If I have to give any dislikes to horror this year, Slender Man was oh god, that was so awful. The Nun was awful. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, that has been it for my best of horror 2018. If you enjoyed what you saw here, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit a like, share it with your friends, share it with your family if you want to. Yeah, spread this around the horror community. It would greatly help out this channel, get recognized in the community. If you are watching this, hopefully you have a great New Year's Eve, and hopefully you have a great 2019. Horror should be better this year. We have a new Jordan Peele movie coming out. We have, is there really anything else horror-wise? Not quite sure. I'm sure we'll have some great horror later on in the year. And yeah, that has been it. Adios. Love you all. Peace.